Hi, friend. Welcome back to another free live training. My name is Shani Yurko. Today I am sharing 5 tips with you that are going to help you save time making videos and maximize your ROI on Instagram and YouTube. And you are also going to understand more how to attract leads with social media. So, if you're a busy entrepreneur and you're thinking about jumping into video, this episode is definitely for you. If this is your first time with me live, welcome. I'm Shani Yurko. I'm a video producer. I'm a brand strategist or marketing strategist, I would say now. And I'm also a video coach. I live in Denver, Colorado. I've spent the last 9 years before moving here in Los Angeles, working in video production. And in my live trainings, like we're in right now, we talk about business, we talk about entrepreneurship, making videos, creating content, and all things building a brand online so that you can attract hot leads for your business. And I like to treat my lives like a podcast. Like there's always a planned value section, and then we open up for Q&A at the end. But basically, you can totally watch this video with your eyeballs, or you can pop in your earbuds and put me somewhere and listen to it like a podcast, if that is your jam. And P.S. I'm live on Instagram and YouTube. If you see me looking back and forth, that's why I'm all about that life where you cover as many bases as you can, save time, maximize ROI, like we're talking about today. So going live in 2 places at once is great pro tip. Look, you already got a bonus tip to save time and maximize your ROI. Before we dive in, I'd love for you to drop in the comments where you're tuning in from, whether you're watching live or on the replay. I do monitor all the comments after the lives are over. I see Rebecca's tuning in on YouTube. Hi, Rebecca. And let's see who's over here on Instagram. And then let's get into it. Let me know where you're tuning in from, what country, city, whatever. Tell me what the weather's like. Ooh, hi from Boston. Hey, my uncle lived in Boston for years, and it was always really fun going and visiting him. I love the duck boats. Ooh, we have a few people tuning in on Instagram. Awesome. Oh, there's a couple people from Boston. All right, cool. Sorry. If you know me at all, you know I'm like a squirrel. I follow squirrel tangents. Ooh, it's finally not 1,000,000 degrees in Atlanta. Excellent. Ooh, hi from India. Hello. 92 degrees in Texas, Cali, UK, Seattle. Oh my God. I love all of it. Guys, welcome. So happy you are spending time with me on this. What day is it? Wednesday? So happy to have you here. So let's go ahead and start out with a tip for all the business owners who are totally strapped for time. Please raise your hand in the comments if that's you. How can you get started with video or put more time into video if you have 0 time to give? Allow me to introduce you to my 15 a day rule. This exercise involves finding 15 minutes every single day to prioritize making videos for your business. As with any other thing in life, getting on camera for your business takes work and it takes time to assimilate into your schedule. I don't know if you have a workout routine or if you have ever had a time in your life where you're like, God, I gotta get to the gym. I've gotta put something new into my routine. It takes time for you to prioritize and also to actually start looking forward to that and to it becoming part of your normal routine and schedule. Video is the same. It's going to take a little bit of time and effort, but when you start out with just 15 minutes a day, you get a taste of the results that you can get from posting videos. And no matter how busy you are, you can make 15 minutes in your day. Wake up earlier or go to bed later. Prioritizing video in small chunks of time like this is really helpful because it gets you used to the process. Now, during these 15 minutes a day, I would recommend focusing on the path of least resistance. I'm going to give you an outline. So if you are a note taker, grab your pen and paper. On your first day, I want you to plan out 5 stories that you're going to sit and record, like a talk to camera story. They can be short. They can be less than 15 seconds. But on day 1, you're going to plan out 5. On day 2, during your 15 minutes, whether it's early in the morning, in the middle of the day, or late at night, whatever works for you, you're going to film those 5 stories that you planned on day 1. Then on day 3, you can actually start posting stories 1 per day or 1 every other day, however you want to space it out. And posting that story is only going to take up 2 minutes on day 3. So you have 13 minutes left to plan out a couple of reels. You can scroll through reels for 5 minutes, save one that you want to use for inspiration, just one. Don't get caught in like a scroll hole. Just save one that you want to actually do and like use for inspiration. Then with those last 8 minutes on day 3, I want you to think of one valuable tip you could share with your audience and write a quick script. A script is literally going to be 3 or 4 sentences long, and boom, you have 2 reels planned out. You have your inspo one that's saved and you're going to emulate it with your own messaging. And then you have a script that you can record direct to camera. Boom, 15 minutes, 2 reels planned out. On day 4, you can shoot those 2 reels in 15 minutes. And then you have 2 reels to post over the next week. On day 5, you can actually start planning your first YouTube video. Start with some keyword research. Look at different topics that are popular on YouTube. You can use TubeBuddy. That's my favorite keyword research tool to find like what people are actually searching for. And I want you to do keyword research and choose a topic on day 5. Then on day 6, you write your script for YouTube. Day 7, you shoot. Day 8, you edit. 15 minutes a day, my friend. Look at that. In 8 days, you can get started on Instagram and YouTube with just 15 minutes a day. This way, at least you're starting. And as time goes on, you'll start to see the effects of posting more consistent content and intentional content. And you're going to naturally start allocating more time to making videos. Sorry, my sleeves keep getting caught on my chair. Love these like baggy sleeves, but man, they are a pain in my butt. So you can get started with just 15 minutes a day. All right. The truth is, my friend, video is so worth it in your business. 80% of video marketers say that video has directly helped increase sales, and 89% say that it gives them a good ROI. Plus, video helps with lead generation. Video helps increase traffic to your website. And those stats are just coming from like the business owners who were interviewed from this Wise Owl, survey, study, whatever. And those stats are only coming from business owners who are using video marketing. Let's look at the consumer side. An average person will spend 100 minutes per day watching online video in 2022. 100 minutes a day. Why can't part of that 100 minutes be your video content? 72% of customers or consumers say they would rather learn about a product or service through a video than like reading an article. If you have videos talking about your products or services, let me know in the comments. If you don't, also let me know in the comments. Do you have a YouTube trailer? Do you have pinned posts at the top of your Instagram that actually get people to know your business and what you serve or what you do to serve people? Sorry. Rebecca said that stat is insane. I know it's nuts. But if you don't have these things, a YouTube trailer, pinned posts at the top of your Instagram, you need to get on it because 84% of people say they've been convinced to buy a product or service by watching a brand's video. That's big. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever bought a product or signed up for someone's program or chosen a service provider based on their social media presence. Like either raise your hand in the comments, let me know like who you hired. I'd love to hear. Because 71% of consumers base their buying decisions on what they've seen on social media. Like, is your mind blown yet? Video is worth it, my friend. And if you haven't jumped in, the time is now. So start with your 15 minutes a day. And if you want to learn more about how to strategically use video to grow your business on Instagram and YouTube, make sure you're signed up for my free workshop. It's called the Video Growth Method. It's linked in the video description below on YouTube. And if you are watching on Instagram, you can DM me or comment leads, and I'll send you the details in your DMs. Okay. Leads, Leads. Let me see. Oh, Rebecca said, I bought your program. Oh, Rebecca, I adore you, my friend. And Rebecca's crushing it with her Instagram Reels and her YouTube channel. So make sure you go check her out. She's Bloom and Glow on Insta. So let's talk a little bit more after I drink a little bit of my water about saving time with your videos and maximizing your ROI. Tip number 2. We already know tip number 1, 15 minutes a day. We've talked about it. Tip number 2 is to make a plan before you start shooting. And if you are struggling to make any of the types of videos, a YouTube video, live videos like this one, reels or Instagram stories, the solution to all of those video problems is to have a plan going into it. If you're not confident, have a plan. You want to edit faster, have a plan before you start shooting. That way you have less footage to go through while you're editing. Want to reach more people with your videos? Have a plan. Want to be more natural on camera? Have a plan before you step in front of the camera. It's so easy to psych yourself out when you step in front of the camera lens, when you see your face looking back at you on a phone, if you are recording on your phone, or on the computer, like right now when I'm looking at my face on my YouTube. It is so easy to just panic, turn it off, and just never go back. But if you go into it with a clear plan, the way that it works is you're planning away from that pressure. Like when you step in front of the camera, there's all this added pressure and you're like, oh my God, I better do a good job or else I'm going to look like an idiot, you know? But when you're planning, you are being strategic. You're using a different part of your brain. You're not using your performer part of your brain. Not performer in the sense that like you're being someone else, but performer as in you're getting your energy up so that you can actually be relatable when you're on camera. That takes energy. And if you're trying to use your brain to come up with what to say while you're also trying to keep your energy up, like that is the fastest way to drain your energy and to create a bad video. So if you go in with a clear plan, you can feel reassured that you made a plan from a place of power when you weren't all stressed out and worried what people will think. And all you have to do is execute the plan. No original thoughts needed. That is a huge piece of the confident on camera puzzle that I teach, is preparing from a place of power to eliminate the overwhelm once you are already on camera. I actually go through exactly how to plan and create each of those types of videos we talked about: YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, stories, and lives inside my signature program, Social Video Academy. That's the one that Rebecca said she is enrolled in. And that's where you learn how to show up and attract leads with your videos. And you get a look at that strategy that I teach inside my program at the free workshop that I'm teaching on Friday and Saturday, Video Growth Method. And I am going to teach you about how to use all of those different kinds of video to market your business. So if you haven't signed up, you know what to do. Find the link, DM me if you can't find it, and do your business a favor and make sure that you show up, because video has the huge power to change your business. So that's my PSA. Sign up for the workshop. Having a plan to make it is the key to making a good video. Bottom line. You got to have a plan no matter what kind of video you make. And it doesn't have to be a word for word script. Like it can be a list of bullet points and that is good enough, but at least you've planned from that place of power. So that is also a key to saving you time. The standard amount of time it takes to edit a video, and this is like a rule of thumb in the video editor's world, is about 3 times the amount of footage. Sometimes more if you're adding like a bunch of special effects or whatever. So if you have 20 minutes of footage where you're talking, it might take you about an hour to edit. That's a rough rule. So you can see how quickly your time will add up if you don't have a script or a plan that you're following and you're like, okay, I'm just going to riff. I'm just going to talk to the camera and I'm going to share all my tips. Then you end up rambling and going on for like 15 minutes. And then you're like, crap, that kind of went off topic. Let me reel it back in. And then you have to go back through that and watch it over and over and over again when you're editing. Good Lord. It takes a long time. And it adds up fast. So if you go into your videos with a plan, and better yet, a script or a list of bullet points to save yourself hours of your precious time. Tip number 3 to save time is to actually stick to your strategies. I'm the queen of like making a to-do list and then like not checking everything off. But if you can stick to a strategy that you make for your videos that you are posting on Instagram and YouTube, it will take you far. So this tip of sticking to your strategies has 2 parts. Part 1 is to actually stick to the plan that you outline for your videos. So stick to your script that we talked about in that last tip. It's very easy to add on extra work as you go because like you're worried about your video being perfect. For example, when you step in front of the camera, you might think your script is all wrong and then decide to rewrite it because you think it sounds dumb. But you have to trust that when you plan your videos, you're planning from a place of power and strategy, and you're writing scripts when there is not a camera pointed at your face, and you're creating a video that's going to be valuable. You know it's going to be valuable. Don't second guess it. You don't need to change it, and you just need to stick to the plan that you outline. Don't try and be perfect. Your videos will never be perfect. And like I am case in point. I love delivering a perfect video to a client. I've worked in video production, video editing for more than a decade. And through all those years, I've realized there's always something you can change to make your video better. And there's always going to be something that you do different. Go for the minimum viable product. And eventually you see your minimum viable product gets better and better and better and better. So you've got to stick to that original strategy, to that original script you wrote. Don't second guess yourself. Part 2 of sticking to your strategy is about your overall video marketing strategy. It has nothing to do with like the individual videos. So with any of my students, with any of my one-on-one clients, I always start with creating content pillars for your videos, for the videos you post on Instagram and YouTube. Content pillars ensure that your videos all align with your brand. And they also make sure that you don't focus too much on one topic, and that you touch on all of the different aspects and ways that you can help people. So essentially, you're going to define anywhere from like 4 to 8 pillars that you develop content under. And each content pillar gives you a way to talk about your business without just being like, here's my product, this is my service, buy my thing, I'm booking now. Like each pillar will have something to do with your business or what you offer, but gives you different ways to talk about it. For example, my content pillars are video strategy, confidence on camera, video tips and techniques, Instagram for business, YouTube for business, and entrepreneurship. I know that that's kind of a lot. You might not have that many. You might have more. It all depends on the process that you go through when we are narrowing down what it is you can help people with, and what people pay you to help them with. So you also will have an offer specific pillar where you talk about what you sell, a behind the scenes pillar, and like a family or a personal life pillar. So you won't hear me talking about anything else in any of my videos on social media. So to make sure that you are getting that maximum ROI on your videos, you focus on creating pillars or creating videos under these pillars and sticking to them, because that is what creates this overall personal brand that's well-rounded, that gets people to know, like, and trust you, and that makes them want to buy from you the fastest. So stick to that. Consistency matters. Following your plan matters. Because with social media, it's not all about that immediate gratification. Okay. For example, you might post a reel that bombs right when you post it, but because it has super valuable information, it helps create a Netflix effect on your profile. We were actually talking about this in my accelerator group program yesterday. Like maybe it's a live that you post and no one shows up, but you're delivering a ton of valuable information. That live is going to get saved in your feed, and people can scroll down when they discover your profile with other different types of content that are designed to get tons and tons of views on the content. But with, I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Hang on, I'll find it. Oh, the Netflix effect. When people discover your profile and that live is down, like maybe a couple rows down, they're scrolling, they're like diving in to see, how can this person help me? What can I learn from them? They're really eager to know everything that you know. That live comes in handy for that person who's already closer to buying from you. And it doesn't matter about the immediate gratification of the views, because you've created this Netflix effect. But without a clear and defined strategy, your videos aren't going to be effective, and they also won't bring you more customers. They'll feel disconnected, they'll feel disjointed, and it won't create this Netflix effect on your profile if you are not being strategic. Now, the way that this tip saves you time is in the long run, not necessarily with each individual video, like creating a video that has a plan, whether it's under your content pillars or not, like it's about the same time. Like the same amount of time, but you won't waste your time making videos that won't actually build your brand. And you won't waste time testing something where, like, let's say your niche is fitness. And you're like, ooh, I want to do like a try on these outfits with me. And your audience doesn't give a crap about that. You won't waste your time with that video idea by like kind of deviating from your niche, and you'll make sure that you didn't waste value. I already said that. You won't waste your valuable time making a video that's not going to work. When you're starting out on your video journey, or if you are like just diving in and trying to get consistent, it is super normal to kind of just start making videos and figure things out along the way. Totally normal. I get it. But if you want to maximize that time that you're spending on making videos, you do need to have a clear strategy before you start posting. Okay. Otherwise, it might take you months or even years to start posting the kinds of videos that bring you actual paying customers. And I am going to help you understand how to make that video strategy in the free workshop, Video Growth Method. We're talking about that step-by-step on exactly how to define your content pillars in my Social Video Academy program. You're getting a sneak peek at it in the workshop this weekend. So tip 3, stick to your strategies, stick to your individual plans, and stick to your content pillars. Tip number 4 is to save you time and also maximize your ROI is to have a standing set. It doesn't mean that you have to like create something from scratch. Your standing set could be somewhere in your house that has your brand colors. Like my shelf, like they've recently been styled. I don't love them. They're not quite to where I want them to be yet, but I mean, it's fine. There's cameras up there. There's little hints of my brand colors popping through. Standing set. When I was living in our apartment in California, I had a setup in my garage. Literally, it was like a, oh my God, I'm really bad at like distance measurements. It was maybe like a 6 feet or like a 4 feet by a 4 feet wide area on the wall that I decorated. And then I sat in front of it and I shot my videos. So if you ever scroll back in my videos and you see, actually it's the picture that's on my wall over here now. I'll show you another time. Let me know if you want to see it and I'll show it in the stories. But basically, it literally was like my brand colors. I would sit in front of it, shoot my videos, do what works for you. And that standing set was really, really helpful for me because I would just be able to go down, set up my camera and shoot. And it was already like looking good and on brand. If you are in an office and you can have maybe your video lights set up in one corner, like out of the way, you can easily move them to where you need to film and then just set up your phone and go. It will save you a lot of time if you can leave those things set up, because the most time that you spend, like anyone, on making videos is going to be in the prep. Like if you use any of my processes, you will spend the most time writing your script and getting your setup set up. And then you'll shoot for maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes. The shooting is like the fastest thing ever when you use a script, when you have everything planned ahead of time. And then editing will also take longer. But when you're actually shooting, it doesn't take that long. And you can just start with a phone, mic, window to light your face. It stays set up all the time when you have a standing set. And you can just set up your camera and lights and start shooting. So having a standing set will save you time, but it is only viable if you have a space in your home or if you're in your office where things can just be set up. If you can't have a standing set, batch creating is definitely going to be your best friend, because you only have to set things up once and then you shoot a bunch of videos and then you don't have to set it up again for like another month or so. Heck, I even batch create with my standing set and it saves me so much time. So that is your 5th tip, actually, to save time when you're creating videos, is batch creating. When you're making videos and you batch create, like if you're a busy working parent like me, you're juggling a child and a business and a social life and your significant other. And like it's hard to find a lot of time to make videos. Honestly, a lot of my videos get shot after my son Lincoln goes to bed, or like during a lunch break, or like maybe I'll set aside an entire day when he's at daycare and I'll shoot an entire month's worth of content in one day. This saves you time because setting up a video set takes time. We've talked about this. You might not do this at first, but eventually you might want to set up a light and your camera, and you might want to make sure like their shots look right. For me, it takes about an hour because, one, I'm super extra. Actually, no, it doesn't take me an hour. When I was in my garage, it would take me about an hour to set up. Now, because you can kind of see I don't want to move anything because I have a really like janky setup on my desk. But there, I have my prompter that always stays up on my tripod. I have my microphone. Let me grab it. That stays on a mic stand. You can see it here. And that just stays set up. Then I have my big video light up here. You can see that. I'll give you guys a sneak peek in my stories here in a little bit. I'll give you like a behind the scenes look at what this whole thing looks like. But basically, those things are set up. So it only takes 15-ish minutes to set it up. And then I'll record, like I said, takes maybe 10 or 15 minutes per video when I'm recording. So what is that? If I shoot 4 videos at a time, it'll take an hour to shoot. And then I just move everything back to the corner of my office and it stays set up until the next time I need to use it. But for me, that would save a lot of setup time. Like if I were to set these things up from scratch, it would take about an hour to do. So if I were shooting 4 videos at once, it saves me 3 hours of setup time. That's a lot. And about an hour and a half of like cleanup time because like you want to strike your set. You don't want to like just leave it out where people can trip over it and dogs try and get the wires and all the things. But batch creating is also beneficial because like you get into a flow state. This is a state like where you're super productive, focusing on one specific type of task. And it takes time for your brain to switch between tasks. Let me know if you feel this. Like it's almost like decision fatigue. Like when you're having to make too many decisions, it's like task switching fatigue. I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm making it up because I suffer from that. So let's say like you're switching from writing your script to checking emails. And then you go to set up your camera and record a video. And then you have to handle some client work, whatever your client work looks like. And then you sit down to edit. That's a lot of different tasks for your brain to bounce from one to the next. And each one uses like a different facet of your brain. So it's pretty inefficient to work this way. It's a lot more efficient to batch create your scripts all at the same time. Writing works a really different part of your brain than speaking to the camera. So if you write 4 scripts at once, it will take you less time than writing them at 4 different times because your brain won't have to switch back and forth between different tasks. So 5th tip, batch create your content. Just a quick recap before we dive into a Q&A. PS, make sure you guys are dropping any questions you might have. It can be about video, business, content, strategy, whatever. Drop it in the comments, whether you're watching live or on the replay. But those 5 tips from today are: use the 15-a-day rule to start prioritizing video. Remember, you can get started on Instagram and YouTube with 8 days of working 15 minutes a day. You want to make a plan before you shoot. You want to stick to your strategies, and you want to have a standing set if it's possible for you, and then batch create. So let's go ahead and jump into our Q&A. Oh, also make sure that you have signed up for the Video Growth Method Workshop. It is linked in my bio on Instagram. You can also DM me leads. It's linked in the video on YouTube. We're going to be covering a lot of in-depth strategies in that Growth Method Workshop. I'm really excited for it. It's going to be fun. So let's go ahead and jump into a Q&A. As always, I bring questions with me to my lives because, one, I want to make sure that like this is extremely valuable for you. And I want to talk about things that you care about. And sometimes people will leave questions in between lives, or I'll get asked a question on my Instagram stories or in comments, whatever. So I want to make sure I'm creating content you guys care about. So the first question I want to talk about is, what do you talk about when you go live? I got this question the other day, and it came more in the form of a comment like, I don't really go live because I don't know what to talk about. So the way I like to leverage lives, lives are not the best way to attract new people, but they are amazing for nurturing your existing audience. So even if you have like 100 followers on Instagram, you can go live and be able to connect with those existing followers. And the more loyal of a following that you have, the better that they're going to convert into customers. So live video is really, really useful in this way. So what you actually talk about when you go live, the way I like to do it, and this is different for anyone. Like some people like to just go on live and like hang out. that's not really my jam because one, I feel awkward. I'd just be like, okay, I'm just sitting over here, like there's nothing to talk about, whatever. So I like to get on, share some piece of value. Usually I script it out because I don't like to ramble. I like it to be as valuable as possible. And live video already can be hard for people to stay engaged with because it feels slower than an edited video. So I like to script it out just to make sure that I am making the most engaging video like the most engaging video possible. So I talk about something that is valuable and I have like a hook, body, and call to action at the end. And then I answer Q&As at the end. So you can follow that structure and basically any sort of like tips, tricks that you teach in a reel on a YouTube video, you can also teach it in a live. You just want to structure your script a little bit differently. Like tell people exactly what they're going to get at the very beginning of your live. And then like dive right in because people want to keep listening, but you also want to call for engagement throughout. You guys will hear me throughout my entire live saying whether you're watching live or on the replay, having conversations with you. Like I want to encourage engagement and I also want to get feedback on like what I'm saying. One, that helps me know that I'm talking about things you care about, and two, getting feedback on the content that I am posting. But three, it also encourages engagement for the algorithms. Like if I'm saying, hey, like make sure you hit that like button, people are going to hit the like button, hopefully. Like hit that like button, friend, hit the heart. It'll be fun. But basically, what you talk about when you go live, think about it like a podcast. What are some things that you could easily talk about in a casual setting, like you're talking to someone over coffee, and think of it in terms of like a podcast format, and you can do a live in that way. So hopefully that is helpful. With that question, what do you talk about when you go live? I would love to hear like what some of your guys' industries are. Maybe I can help you come up with video topics sometime soon. I'm thinking about doing one of those in like the next month or so. But don't forget to sign up for Video Growth Method. It's happening this Friday, this Saturday. What time is it on Friday? It's on the website. I'm really bad at like times and distances and remembering it. So it's on Friday and Saturday. Saturday, it's at 9 a.m. my time. I believe Friday, it's at noon my time, and I'm Mountain Standard Time. Can't wait to see you guys there. There will be a replay, but you have to be signed up to get the replay of the workshop. So let me know if you guys have any questions. And I am so excited to be able to have spent this time with you. And whether you're watching live or on the replay, I'd love to hear what your favorite tip was that we talked about today. As a quick reminder, there was the 15-a-day rule, make a plan before you shoot and stick to your strategies, have a standing set, and batch create. Which one was your favorite? Without further ado, I think I might go eat some lunch. I'm hungry. It's basically how I always sign off on my lives. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat lunch. Send me a DM if you have any questions, okay, my friend, or drop them in the comments below. Thanks for hanging with me.